What's going on, guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about what I think are the best video settings to use on the iPhone XS. So a couple days ago I went into the settings on my phone to change a couple things about the video settings. And while I was in there I noticed something. And I'm honestly surprised that I did not know about this before. I kind of feel like a noob, to be honest with you. The main thing that jumped out at me was the two different formats that you can choose to record in. Now by default mine was set to high efficiency. What this does is it captures video in this HEVC codec, which basically is just smaller file sizes. And these smaller HEVC files could actually cause you problems depending on what type of video editing software you're using. I've actually had a few issues before where I had bad playback, it was laggy, just wasn't working very well in Premiere. So what I did, and what I recommend you do, is actually change that to the most compatible setting. Now this is going to record in H.264 just like any other camera would, and you're not going to have to worry about any compatibility issues when you open up your editing software. Using most compatible is going to get you the best quality and smoothest playback. Now the other two settings I changed are the frame rate and the frame rate the phone uses for slow motion capture. Now for normal video I chose 4K 24, so I'm just going to go in here and go to 4K 24. I chose this because the majority of other video I shoot is in 24 frames per second, and if I wanted to record something and then slow it down later, I can always change this to 4K 60 or drop it down to 1080 60. Now the only issue with 4K 60 on the iPhone XS is it's going to force you to use that high efficiency codec. But if you drop down to 1080 60 frames per second, you can use the most compatible and it's going to record in that H.264. And lastly, for slow motion capture, I chose to just do 1080p at 120 frames per second. By default, this is set to 240 frames per second. Again, here you have the option of doing the max settings the phone can do, which is 1080 at 240 frames per second, but that's going to be in that high efficiency. You can also do 720p at 240, and this is going to be H.264, but I prefer to just do 1080p at 120 frames per second. I think 120 looks great, especially in full HD, and you really don't need the 240 frames per second. So these are the video settings I use on my iPhone XS. I hope this helped. Like I said before, I was really surprised I didn't know about the two different settings for the high efficiency or the H.264. I'm also super excited that these phones have such great video capabilities and it just fits in your pocket. This is something you can bust out when you don't want to bring your full big camera setup, or this is something you can use if you need a second angle on something. Personally, I think the iPhone is one of the, if not the best video camera in a smartphone because of all these settings, and it's also got the stereo audio feature. But anyways, I hope you like these tips. That's all I got for you today. I'm gonna go and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.